The sky burned red as the alien warships hovered over Earth, casting massive shadows over cities that once stood proud. Their sleek, metallic bodies gleamed under the sun, their weapons humming with an eerie power. From the largest vessel, a voice boomed across the planet, translated into every known human language. Humans, your time is over. Your bodies are weak. Your minds are inferior. Surrender now, and we may allow some of you to serve as laborers in our empire. The voice was filled with contempt. The aliens, towering beings with chiseled armor-like skin, watched from their floating fortresses, their glowing eyes filled with mockery. To them, humanity was nothing more than an insignificant race, barely worth conquering. Across the world, people watched in fear. The governments had tried to fight, but their most powerful weapons had barely scratched the aliens' shields. The world's leaders had fallen silent, their desperation evident. Humanity was on its knees, facing an enemy it could not defeat. In a hidden underground facility, deep beneath a desert wasteland, a group of humans stood in defiance. Unlike the rest of the world, they weren't trembling. They had been waiting for this moment. The leader of the group, an older man with a steely gaze, turned to his team. They think we're weak. They think we have no defense. His voice was steady, unwavering. They don't know what we've been hiding. He pressed a button on the console before him, and the room trembled. Massive doors, covered in dust and rusted from decades of secrecy, slowly groaned open. Behind them lay a sight that no human alive had ever seen. Rows upon rows of towering metal suits stood in the dim light, their dark armor humming faintly with a long-dormant energy. They were unlike anything made by modern hands, sleek, powerful, built for war. These were not just machines. They were humanity's last hope. The man turned back to his team. It's time to show the universe what humans are really made of. The underground chamber was eerily silent, except for the hum of dormant energy coursing through the massive suits of armor. Dust swirled in the dim light as the team stepped forward, their eyes scanning the towering machines. These weren't just weapons, they were relics of a forgotten war, one that had been erased from history. The older man moved toward a control panel, his fingers brushing over the cold metal. The technology was ancient, but it had been designed to endure. With a deep breath, he pressed a sequence of buttons. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, the room came to life. A deep, mechanical thrum filled the air as the suits flickered with energy. Symbols, unreadable to most, glowed faintly on their surfaces. Screens activated, data streaming across them at impossible speeds. The air itself seemed to vibrate. The younger soldiers in the group exchanged uneasy glances. What is this?" one of them asked, his voice barely above a whisper. The older man exhaled. "This is what the world was never meant to see. A forgotten project. A weapon hidden away because humanity was afraid of its own power." He turned to the others, his eyes hard. "We were never weak. We were just told to believe we were." One of the soldiers stepped closer to the suits. The armor looked almost human-shaped, but there was something unsettling about it, something beyond its sheer size and design. It wasn't just built to protect the wearer. It was built to amplify them. "Can we even use these?" another asked. The older man nodded. "They were made for us." He reached for a nearby helmet, lifting it with surprising ease despite its heavy construction. The moment his fingers touched the inside, the entire suit responded, lights flashing, metal shifting, as if awakening from a long sleep. But before he could say another word, a warning alarm blared throughout the underground facility. The aliens had found them. The ceiling shook with the force of an explosion. Dust rained down. The team barely had time to react before the metal doors at the far end of the chamber groaned and buckled. A deep, guttural voice echoed from beyond. "We sensed an energy source. Humans, you have secrets. But it will not save you. The older man turned to the others, his face calm but urgent. We don't have time for questions. Suit up. Now. The team hesitated for only a second before rushing toward the armor. The first one to step inside felt an instant surge of power, like electricity fusing with his veins. His breath hitched as the suit locked into place around him. The heads-up display inside came alive, data flashing across his vision. Then, the ground trembled again, closer this time. The aliens were coming. For the first time since the invasion began, humanity wasn't defenseless. They were ready to fight back. The underground facility trembled as another explosion rocked the entrance. The metal doors bent inward, their reinforced structure barely holding against the alien assault. The air was thick with tension, but inside the chamber, something incredible was happening. One by one, the humans stepped into the ancient power armor. As the suits sealed around their bodies, their senses expanded. It wasn't just protection, it was transformation. A young soldier clenched his fists, his breath catching as his body adjusted to the overwhelming sensation. He felt stronger. His muscles, once humanly limited, pulsed with energy. His hearing sharpened, his vision enhanced to detect even the slightest movement. This is unreal, one of them whispered, shifting inside the suit. I feel like I could. Before he could finish, the reinforced doors finally gave way. With a deafening crash, the aliens stormed in. They were taller than any human, their exoskeletons glistening under the facility's artificial light. Their glowing eyes scanned the room before focusing on the armored soldiers. Then, they laughed, a deep, guttural sound filled with amusement. You think your shells will save you? One of them sneered, stepping forward. He raised his weapon, a crackling energy staff. For a moment, silence filled the chamber. The humans stood still, their power yet untested. The aliens saw hesitation, weakness. Then, the older man moved. Faster than the eye could follow, he launched forward, the armored suit responding to his will. The alien's smirk vanished in an instant. The human struck with the force of a missile, his metal-clad fist colliding with the alien's chest. A sickening crack. The alien was thrown backward like a ragdoll, slamming against the far wall with a thud. The other aliens froze. Their laughter was gone. One of them roared in fury, lunging forward with his weapon raised. Another human moved, his instincts now heightened by the suit. He dodged with inhuman speed, pivoting in midair. The alien's weapon missed by inches, and before he could react, the soldier grabbed his arm, then twisted. A sharp, unnatural snap filled the air. The alien howled in pain. The humans exchanged glances. They could feel it now. This wasn't just armor. It was evolution. The aliens hesitated, their confidence wavering. This wasn't the weak, defenseless species they had mocked. Something had changed. Something they had never accounted for. A slow, deliberate voice cut through the tension. You wanted to see what humans are capable of. The older man stepped forward, his armor humming with energy. Now you will. With a battle cry, the humans charged. The aliens, for the first time, felt something they had never associated with humanity. Fear. The battle erupted like a thunderclap, filling the underground chamber with chaos. The aliens, once so confident in their superiority, were now on the defensive. They swung their weapons wildly, their crackling energy staffs slicing through the air, but the humans were faster. Stronger. One soldier sidestepped an alien strike with inhuman reflexes. He twisted his body, his power armor responding instantly. His fist lashed out, driving into the alien's midsection with the force of a cannon blast. The creature doubled over, its exoskeleton fracturing with a sickening crunch. Another alien attempted to fire a plasma bolt from its wrist-mounted blaster, but before the shot could be released, a human moved in a blur, closing the distance in an instant. With one powerful upward strike, he shattered the alien's arm. Sparks and dark ichor sprayed into the air as the creature howled in agony. The older man, now fully in command of his armor, grabbed the largest alien by the throat. The alien's claws raked against the metallic plating, but it was useless. "You called us weak," the man said, his voice calm, deadly. "You were wrong." With a single, brutal motion, he hurled the alien across the chamber. It slammed into the control panels, causing sparks to rain down like fireworks. The remaining aliens hesitated. This wasn't the battle they had expected. They had come to crush a helpless species. Instead, they had walked into a slaughter. One of them, more cautious than the others, tapped a device on its wrist. A sharp, high-pitched signal filled the air. The meaning was clear: reinforcements were coming. The older man narrowed his eyes. They had won this fight, but it wasn't over. "We need to move," he barked. "This place won't hold if more of them arrive." The soldiers, still adjusting to their newfound power, nodded. But before they could retreat, a deep vibration rumbled through the chamber. The walls trembled. Dust and debris fell from above. The facility was compromised. Then, the worst happened. A loud, metallic clang echoed as a massive section of the ceiling collapsed. A fresh wave of aliens dropped in from above, their weapons already primed. Unlike the first group, these warriors were different. Bigger. Heavily armored. One of them stepped forward, its crimson eyes narrowing as it scanned the humans. "Interesting," it mused. "You were hiding something after all." It raised its weapon, a jagged spear crackling with violet energy. "But it won't save you." The humans braced themselves. Their first real test was about to begin. The battle for Earth had only just begun. The air was thick with tension as the new wave of alien warriors descended. Their armor gleamed under the flickering lights, thicker and more advanced than their fallen comrades. Their weapons pulsed with raw energy, designed to annihilate rather than subdue. The humans didn't move. They couldn't afford to. Every breath, every twitch of a muscle, had to be calculated. These aliens weren't just here to mock them anymore. They were here to end them. Then, without warning, the lead alien struck. It moved faster than the others, almost blurring as it lunged with its jagged energy spear. But this time, the humans were ready. The older man shifted instinctively, his new reflexes kicking in. He dodged the strike at the last second, feeling the crackling energy graze the armor's plating. The moment the spear missed, he countered, twisting his body and slamming his fist into the alien's ribs. The impact sent a deep boom through the chamber. The alien stumbled, but unlike the others, it recovered almost instantly. It hissed, eyes narrowing in amusement. "Good. You're learning." Then, it twisted its spear in its grip and came again, faster. The fight exploded into chaos. One of the soldiers, still adjusting to his armor, barely dodged an alien's energy blast. His instinct screamed at him to retreat, but something in the armor pushed him forward instead. His feet dug into the ground, his muscles tensed, and before he even processed it, he had launched himself forward like a missile. The alien's eyes widened in shock as the human closed the distance in an instant. One devastating punch later, the alien's body crumpled. Across the chamber, another soldier tested his suit's built-in weapons. He extended his arm, and with a thought, a hidden mechanism clicked into place. A sharp, glowing blade erupted from the forearm of his suit. The alien he faced barely had time to react. A single slice. The alien collapsed, its armor cleaved in two. The tide of battle shifted. The aliens, despite their superior numbers, found themselves struggling against the humans' raw power and speed. They had expected fragile bodies, slow reactions. What they got instead was something terrifying. For the first time, the alien leader hesitated. "This shouldn't be possible," it muttered. The older man, still locked in combat, smirked. "And yet, here we are." He feinted left, baiting the alien into an attack, then spun low and delivered a crushing uppercut. The alien's feet left the ground. It flew backward, crashing through a stack of machinery. The remaining aliens exchanged nervous glances. Their confidence was gone. One of them turned to flee. He didn't make it. A soldier leaped across the room, landing in front of him with a thunderous impact. He reached out, grabbed the alien's throat, and lifted it off the ground with ease. "Leaving so soon?" The alien struggled, but it was no use. The soldier hurled it across the chamber, sending it skidding across the floor. The older man straightened, surveying the battlefield. The aliens were beaten, their bodies scattered, their spirits broken. But then, another deep vibration rumbled beneath them. The soldier closest to the control panel glanced at the monitors. His face tensed. "Sir, we've got a bigger problem." The screen flickered, revealing an image of the alien mothership hovering above the Earth's surface. More enemy troops were on the way. And this time, they wouldn't just be warriors. They would be something worse. The underground facility trembled as the humans caught their breath. The battle had been brutal, but they had won, at least for now. The alien warriors lay broken around them, their once superior strength shattered by the raw power of humanity's hidden technology. But there was no time to celebrate. The screen on the control panel flickered, displaying a live feed from Earth's upper atmosphere. The alien mothership had repositioned itself, hovering menacingly above the planet's surface. Massive hangar doors on its underbelly groaned open, and something new began descending. The older man's eyes narrowed as he studied the footage. "They're sending in their elite." The words settled heavily over the team. The last battle had pushed them to their limits, but now they would face something worse. "How much time do we have?" one soldier asked, his voice tight with urgency. The screen beeped. A countdown appeared. 3 minutes. They barely had time to react before another earthquake-like tremor rocked the facility. The humans staggered as dust rained from the ceiling. The structural integrity of the underground base was failing. "We can't stay here," the older man barked. "Everyone, move. We take the fight to them." The soldiers hesitated for only a second before following his lead. The armor felt like second skin now, an extension of their own will. With every step, their confidence grew. The once helpless species now moved with purpose. They reached the underground transport bay, where an old, heavily modified dropship sat waiting. One of the soldiers activated the controls, and the engines roared to life. The older man turned to his team. "This is it. We push back, or we die trying." No one hesitated. The dropship launched out of the underground passage, blasting into the sky. The night was illuminated by the glow of the alien mothership. As the humans soared upward, they finally saw it in its entirety. It wasn't just a ship. It was a floating fortress, miles wide, surrounded by layers of rotating armor and energy shields. If they were going to survive, they had to break through. Then, from the mothership's open hangars, they emerged. Tall, hulking figures, twice the size of the previous alien warriors, descended through the air, their own battle armor gleaming like obsidian. These weren't the same overconfident invaders they had fought before. These were the executioners, the aliens' finest warriors. And they were ready to crush humanity's last hope. The dropship's warning systems blared as plasma fire rained down from above. The sky exploded with energy blasts as the humans prepared for their toughest battle yet. The war for Earth wasn't just about survival anymore. It was about proving that humanity was never weak. The dropship rocketed through the night sky, its engines roaring against the storm of plasma fire raining down from above. Inside, the humans braced themselves, their power armor humming with anticipation. The alien executioners, larger, stronger, deadlier, descended toward them, their sleek black armor glinting under the glow of their mothership. "Brace for impact," the pilot shouted as the ship swerved hard to the left, narrowly dodging an incoming energy blast. The sky erupted with explosions as alien fighters pursued them, their weapons firing relentlessly. The older man stood near the bay doors, gripping the side of the ship as he stared at the enemy forces ahead. "We can't outrun them. We take the fight to them, now." One by one, the soldiers stepped toward the doors, their armored suits adjusting to the high altitude. "Drop in 3, 2, 1, go." The bay doors slammed open, and the humans leaped into the air. For a moment, there was only silence. Then, the battlefield roared to life. The executioners met them mid-air, their jetpacks propelling them with terrifying speed. The first alien swung a massive plasma blade toward a soldier, but the human twisted in midair, dodging just in time. His armored foot lashed out, slamming into the alien's chest with a force that sent it spiraling backward. Another executioner extended a massive, clawed hand, grabbing a soldier by the waist. The human struggled for a second before his suit responded, unleashing an electromagnetic pulse that sent a violent shockwave through the alien's armor. The executioner screeched in pain as the human twisted free and drove his elbow into its face. The older man descended fast, his visor scanning the battlefield. He spotted an enemy closing in and activated his thrusters, propelling himself forward like a missile. The alien raised its weapon, but before it could strike, the man spun mid-air, delivering a devastating uppercut. The executioner's head snapped back as it crashed through its own ranks, its body tumbling toward the ground below. The battle raged across the sky, the humans pushing their armor beyond its limits. Plasma bolts whizzed past them, explosions painting the night in flashes of fire and smoke. But something was different now. The aliens were struggling. The executioners, the most feared warriors of the Empire, were being matched blow for blow. The humans weren't losing. They were winning. From above, the mothership loomed like a monstrous predator, its main cannons powering up. A low, ominous hum filled the air as its primary weapon began charging. A blinding red light gathered at its core. The older man's breath hitched. He knew what was coming. "They're going to fire." The soldiers turned their heads toward the massive warship, realizing the terrible truth. If that cannon fired, it wouldn't just wipe out their team, it would erase everything below. There was only one way to stop it. They had to take the fight inside. The older man activated his comms. "All units, push forward. We're breaching the mothership, now." The soldiers surged upward, their thrusters igniting as they tore through the battlefield. The executioners scrambled to stop them, but it was too late. The humans were heading straight for the heart of the enemy's war machine. And this time, they weren't just fighting for survival. They were fighting for revenge. The humans rocketed toward the alien mothership, weaving through enemy fire like streaks of light. The executioners, those once thought to be invincible, scrambled to intercept, but they were too slow. Humanity's hidden strength had been unleashed, and nothing could stop them now. The older man led the charge, his visor scanning for an entry point. Then he saw it, a docking bay at the ship's underbelly, its shields flickering from the energy buildup of the planet killer cannon above. "There. That's our way in." Blaster fire rained from above, but the humans dodged with unnatural speed. The armor, once a relic of the past, was now guiding their every move, pushing them beyond their limits. The first soldier crashed through the docking bay's entrance, rolling into position. Another followed, then another. Soon, the entire team had breached the alien warship. The corridors were vast, glowing with eerie blue light. Holographic displays flickered along the walls, showing schematics of the doomsday weapon charging above. A deep, rumbling voice echoed through the chamber. "You dare invade our sacred warship?" At the far end of the room, a colossal alien figure emerged. Unlike the others, this one was covered in intricate armor, its chest adorned with the markings of a high-ranking warrior. This was their commander. The older man clenched his fists. "We don't have time for speeches." With a flick of his wrist, his suit responded, activating an energy blade that crackled to life along his forearm. The alien commander let out a slow, guttural laugh. "Then fight." It lunged forward, its massive form blurring with impossible speed. The older man barely dodged in time, the force of the attack sending shockwaves through the ship's metal walls. The battle inside the mothership began. The human soldiers spread out, their suits synchronizing with their movements. One soldier raised his arm, releasing a plasma burst from his gauntlet that exploded against the enemy's forces. Another activated his thrusters mid-air, dodging a barrage of energy blasts before delivering a devastating kick to an alien warrior's head. The older man and the alien commander clashed, their weapons colliding with thunderous force. Sparks flew, the ship trembling from the sheer power of their blows. But time was running out. A soldier scanned the console, his visor highlighting the countdown. "Sir." "The main cannon, less than 2 minutes before it fires." The older man grit his teeth. They couldn't afford to be slowed down. With a powerful strike, he disarmed the alien commander, his blade slicing through the enemy's weapon. The alien stumbled, its glowing eyes wide with shock. "You were never stronger than us," the older man growled. "You just never let us fight back." With a final explosive punch, he sent the alien commander crashing through the bulkhead, its massive body tumbling into darkness. The team rushed toward the control room. The doomsday weapon was nearly fully charged, its core pulsing with deadly energy. There was only one way to stop it. A soldier pulled up the ship's internal systems. "We can overload their reactor. If we hit it hard enough, this whole ship will go down." The older man turned to the others. "Then let's do it." They raced toward the reactor chamber, knowing that this mission had only one outcome: either they destroyed the mothership, or humanity was finished. The reactor chamber pulsed with eerie blue light, its core swirling with unstable energy. Warning sirens blared throughout the alien mothership, signaling critical failure. The humans had seconds to act. The older man and his team rushed forward, their armored boots clanking against the metal floor. The walls trembled, the ship's structure beginning to collapse. The battle outside still raged, but this was the moment that would decide everything. "Set the overload sequence," the older man commanded. One of the soldiers accessed the alien console, his visor translating the symbols. His fingers flew across the controls, overriding the system. "I'm in. Overloading the reactor now." The core flashed, its energy surging uncontrollably. The entire chamber vibrated with immense power, cracks forming along the walls. But then, a shadow moved in the corner. The alien commander staggered back into the chamber, his massive form covered in burns and fractures from their earlier battle. He was weak, but his eyes still burned with rage. "You think you've won?" he snarled. "You think your kind deserves to exist?" He lunged. The older man met him mid-air, their fists colliding with the force of an explosion. Sparks and debris flew in every direction. The rest of the team held back, the reactor's energy now too unstable for more fighting. It had to end now. The alien commander swung again, but the older man dodged with inhuman speed, his armor adjusting to every movement. He grabbed the alien's wrist, twisted, snap. The commander howled in pain, but the older man didn't stop. He slammed his foot into the alien's chest, sending him crashing into the reactor controls. The countdown on the soldier's visor flashed, overload complete. The entire ship lurched, metal groaning as explosions rippled through its core. "Time to go," one of the soldiers shouted. The older man backed away, staring at the fallen alien commander. The defeated warrior glared up at him, choking on his own breath. "You are nothing but insects." The older man clenched his fists. "Then you were killed by insects." Without another word, he turned and activated his thrusters, blasting toward the exit. The team raced through the collapsing corridors. Fires erupted around them. The floor buckled, walls caving in as the ship's final moments arrived. The docking bay doors loomed ahead, their only way out. "Jump!" One by one, the soldiers leaped into the open sky, their armored bodies plummeting toward Earth. The air roared around them as they fell, thrusters engaging just in time to slow their descent. Above them, the alien mothership cracked apart, fire consuming its massive frame. Then, in one final explosion, it was gone. The sky erupted with light. The shockwave rippled across the clouds. The last remnants of the alien empire vanished into the abyss. The humans landed safely on the ruined battlefield below. Silence filled the air as they watched the ashes of their enemy rain down. They had done it. Earth was free. For the first time since the war began, there was no alien voice mocking them, no conquerors looking down on them as lesser beings. The older man removed his helmet, feeling the wind on his face. He looked at his team, battered, exhausted, but alive. "They thought we were weak," he murmured, his voice quiet but strong. "They'll never make that mistake again." The war had changed them. The world would never be the same. Humanity had been tested. And in the end, they had proven their worth.